take some rest and make a decision for myself, which is at times can be hard to do, and I'm honestly proud of myself for doing that. Way further back from where I actually shot it from.
How will she go for history?
Grumpy Trumpy's got nothing on the Mercury's coach right now. After Caitlin Clark turned their defense into Swiss cheese, the excuses started flying faster than a toupee in a hurricane. But here's the million-dollar question. Can Diana Taurasi's legacy survive this meltdown, or is it time to call in the diaper squad? Alright, let's talk about the Clarknado that just hit Phoenix. This rookie sensation put on a show that was hotter than Arizona in July. And trust me, that's saying something. Caitlin Clark, the Fever's new golden girl, didn't just play a game. She put on a basketball clinic. We're talking 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. That's not a stat line, folks. That's a Picasso painting in numbers. She was dishing out assists like Oprah gives away cars. You get a basket. You get a basket. Everybody gets a basket. But wait, it gets better. The Fever didn't just beat the Mercury. They swept them cleaner than Trump sweeps his tax records under the rug. It's like the Mercury forgot how to play basketball altogether. Maybe they should change their name to Venus, because they're definitely not the hottest planet in the WNBA solar system anymore. And speaking of planets, let's talk about how Clark's gravity pulled everyone into her orbit. She was controlling the court like it was her own personal chessboard, and the Mercury players were just pawns in her grand scheme. It was beautiful to watch, unless you're a Mercury fan, in which case it was probably about as enjoyable as a root canal. But now you might be thinking, surely this is just one game, right? Wrong. Clark's been on a tear lately. As WNBA legend Rebecca Lobo pointed out, Caitlin Clark has had double digits in 8 of her last 10 games. She will be tickling 9 assists per game by the end of the season. Tickling 9 assists? More like strangling the competition with her playmaking skills.
Women's basketball players are very, very skilled just because they have to be. So it's something, you know, I've kind of taken pride in.
It provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going, and when everybody can like touch the ball and, you know, get going in that way.
History! Becoming the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history.
But here's where it gets really juicy. How do you think Diana Taurasi's coach explained this basketball beatdown? Spoiler alert, it's not because Clark is just that good. Oh no, they've got excuses lined up like Trump's got lawsuits. It's a veritable buffet of blame shifting that would make a politician blush. You see folks, when you're getting your butt handed to you on a silver platter, you've got 2 choices. You can admit you got outplayed, or you can start spinning tails faster than a washing machine on crack. Guess which route the Mercury chose. But before we dive into that dumpster fire of excuses, let's take a moment to appreciate the irony here. Diana Taurasi, the so-called GOAT of women's basketball, just got schooled by a rookie. It's like watching a lion get taken down by a cub. Impressive, but also a little sad. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Diana's still great. She's got years of experience. Sure, and Trump's got years of experience in business. How's that working out for him lately? Sometimes, folks, the torch gets passed whether you're ready or not. And right now, that torch is looking a lot like a basketball in Caitlin Clark's hands. So, what's a coach to do when their star player gets outshined? Well, if you're the Mercury's coach, you start cooking up excuses like they're going out of style. We're talking everything from we were tired to the schedule was tough. Next thing you know, they'll be blaming it on Mercury being in retrograde. Alright folks, it's time to step into the coach's corner of shame. Grab your popcorn because Mercury coaches Nate Tibbetts and Natasha Cloud are about to serve up some excuses so cheesy they'd make a Wisconsin dairy farmer blush. Let's start with Coach Tibbetts, who dropped this gem after the game. We didn't come ready, and that's on me. Wow, really? Thanks for that earth-shattering insight, Nate. I'm sure nobody would have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out. It's like saying water is wet, or Trump's tweets are, well, you know. But wait, it gets better. Tibbetts and Cloud decided to play a little game of pin the tail on the excuse. First up, fatigue. Apparently, the Mercury players were just too tuckered out to keep up with Clark. Poor babies. Maybe next time they should bring their blankies and sippy cups to the court. And then there's the tough schedule card. Cloud went on about how they've been going hard and need better player protection and scheduling. Oh, boo-hoo. It's almost like they're professional athletes who get paid to play basketball or something. I guess they forgot that part of the job description.
I like in transition's my favorite.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I get the rebound, I'm pulling up, you know.
It is to get a ticket to get into the doors, how many people want to turn it on their television, how people are traveling miles and miles to come and watch. I think more than anything, it's like surprising, like you guys didn't know like this is how women's sports are played. Like, Come on.
And let's not forget the classic poor rhythm excuse, because nothing says we're a top-tier basketball team like admitting you can't find your groove. Maybe they should have called Justin Timberlake for some tips on bringing sexy back, or in this case, their game. But you know what they forgot to mention? Mercury being in retrograde. I mean, if you're gonna make excuses, why not go all out? Blame it on the stars, the alignment of the planets, or heck, even the price of gas these days. It'd make about as much sense as the baloney they're serving up. Now, I can just picture the fans' reactions to these weak justifications. They're probably facepalming so hard they've left permanent marks. It's like watching your dad try to explain why he can't figure out the TV remote. Embarrassing, but you can't look away. And poor Diana Taurasi. Can you imagine being the GOAT of women's basketball and having to listen to this nonsense? She's probably wondering if she can trade her coaches for a bag of basketballs and a Gatorade vending machine. At least those would be useful during games. But here's the kicker. While the coaches are busy making excuses, Caitlin Clark is out there breaking ankles and taking names. She's not complaining about fatigue or tough schedules. Nope. She's too busy dominating the court like it's her personal playground. It's almost like Clark didn't get the memo that she's supposed to be tired and off rhythm. Maybe someone should check if she's actually a basketball playing robot sent from the future to destroy the WNBA as we know it. I mean, it would explain a lot. And let's be real, if the Mercury coaches are this worn out after a few games, how are they going to handle a full season? At this rate, they might need to invest in some industrial strength Red Bull, or maybe hire a team of professional nappers to keep the players fresh.
The one like I really remember is like when LeBron James put me on his Instagram story. Like, it's LeBron James.
I've been competing for a year straight. Tolls can be taken, and obviously I've been very fortunate to have so many great opportunities.
During the Clark showdown, Taurasi nabbed her 6th technical foul of the season. 6th. That's more techs than Trump has bankruptcies. She's collecting them like they're Pokemon cards. Gotta catch them all, right, Diana? So what got her all riled up this time? Well, it wasn't even a call against her. Nope, Taurasi lost her cool over a foul called on her teammate, Brittany Griner. Talk about being a protective mama bear. Or maybe she was just jealous Griner was getting all the attention from the refs. Now, here's where it gets spicy. One more tech, just one more outburst, and Taurasi's looking at a one-game vacation courtesy of the WNBA. That's right, folks. 7 technicals, and you're out. It's like baseball, but with more yelling and less spitting. You've got to wonder what's going through Taurasi's mind. Is she trying to set a new record? Maybe she's gunning for the most likely to blow a gasket award at the WNBA end of season party. Or perhaps she's just really passionate about the game. Yeah, let's go with that. But here's a thought. Maybe Taurasi's in on the whole fatigue excuse her coaches are peddling. Think about it. What better way to get some rest than a forced one-game suspension? It's like calling in sick to work, but with more sweating and air balls. Imagine the conversation in the locker room. Hey coach, you said we're tired, right? Watch this. Proceeds to yell at ref. It's a foolproof plan. Well, foolish at least. All jokes aside, this is starting to look like a real problem for the Mercury. Your star player is one temper tantrum away from a timeout. Your coaches are making excuses left and right, and meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out there making it rain threes like it's monsoon season in Arizona.
I grew up playing with the boys, and my dad was my first ever basketball coach. Before every game, I look at my dad and I give him a nod. He gives me a nod.
I wasn't playing in front of a bunch of people screaming at me. You know, I was used to the college scene when fans were allowed back in here, but...
So what does all this drama mean for the WNBA's supposed GOAT? Is Taurasi's reign coming to an end? Is she cracking under the pressure of the new kids on the block? Or is this just a blip in an otherwise stellar career? One thing's for sure, Taurasi's not going down without a fight. And by fight, I mean a lot of yelling, arm waving, and possibly a few more technical fouls. It's like watching a basketball version of The Real Housewives of Phoenix. Drama everywhere, and not a championship in sight. But let's not count Taurasi out just yet. She's been in the game longer than some of these rookies have been alive. She's got more experience than a cat with 9 lives. Maybe this is all part of some grand strategy. You know, lull the competition into a false sense of security, then bam, hit them with the old Taurasi magic. Or maybe, just maybe, we're witnessing the changing of the guard, the torch being passed from one generation to the next. It's like watching The Circle of Life, but with more dribbling and less Elton John.